All right.
Hi, guys. Today we're going to be shadowing Coach Yvonne St. Louis, and she's a purposeful and prosperity coach out of Montreal, Canada. And Yvonne, first of all, we just like to ask you for you to, just tell us a little bit about starting your business and why it was that you started it.
Okay. What made me start my business is inside of me, I knew that I had to do this. And if I did not do this, it's as if I had missed out on my life. So it was a deeper calling that I needed to listen to.
Okay. And this was your first business that you've ever started?
This is the first business that I've ever started. I started in 2006
Okay.
part-time, and then now more than 5 years, I'm doing it full-time.
Cool. Okay. And what is your role or job, and what sorts of responsibilities do you have?
Okay, my role and my job, I would say that my role is to really listen to my clients' needs and help them to overcome any challenge and frustration and blocks that limit them from having what it is that they want to have so that they can have more clarity, self-confidence, and money, and really owning their authentic self-value to have the success they want.
Okay. Now, do you work with clients on a one-to-one basis, or like with companies,
I
or
work with clients in a private setting, like now how we're doing it through, it could be a Zoom conference call like this, or it could be through Messenger, or it could be through the telephone. So it's one-on-one, and now I'm starting to put together a pilot mastermind programs for holistic life coaching, and on the other end for money and business.
okay? And then you just have like two separate websites that you'll find the clients through, or
It's all the same website, YvonneSaintLouis.com, and it's important to know that a website is like a big business card online, and that's not how a person connects with clients. It's to have visibility.
oh, okay. So see, okay, I'll go on because mine's a little different. What is your typical day like? Like today's a Wednesday. Like, what would your like from with the time you get up? Like, what's your typical Wednesday like?
My typical Wednesday is a day where I just remain focused on my week's priorities. So I will get up and I have a morning ritual where I connect, where I will get
Uh-huh.
into some prayers, get concentrated, do a little bit of meditation, get into exercising, all of this before starting my initial work day, and
Kind of
have
like your
that
hour. Oh,
ritual really set in place. And then usually Wednesdays is connecting. I've accepted this interview today, and it's for clients as well, and just connecting with people that are like-minded collaborators and
mhm.
clients, specifically Wednesdays.
Well, okay. And what about a day when you're working with your clients? Is it pretty much back to back, or
It depends. Like there could be, yes, it could be that way. It could be 4 to 6 clients in one day, but I don't work with more than 12, 13 clients in a week.
in a week? Okay. Then give them all individualized attention. I get that.
Yes, yes.
What is the best thing about owning your own business? Like, what's the best thing?
The best thing about owning my own business, I say that my own business is between me and God and the creative force of this universe that just builds more energy to flourish with this entire world. So being with that, being my path into my passion, my creativity, and then enjoying connecting with other people and see how I can help and really give a soulful contribution. And from there, have the freedom of time and the money to enjoy what I do. So it's a freedom of choice.
Okay. So it's like your freedom and your connection with your creator. And
Yeah,
like
exactly.
with
And
other
connecting with
people.
the people that I have a good energy match and that I can really help.
Exactly. Okay. I feel that. Okay. What is the hardest thing about owning your own business?
The hardest thing about owning one's business is there is no school that teaches a person you need to do one, two, three, four, five, six, seven to have a result with eight. There is no school. There is the Entrepreneurship Foundation. There are other entrepreneurs, but essentially you need to have logic with your heart and really trust the process and grow into it.
Mm-hmm.
Any blocks that a person might have in order to grow will be reflected, and this will need to be busted. So according to 6 and 7 figure earners, and they have 3 things in common. So to be in business requires one to have a vision, because even in the Bible it's written, a person who does not have a vision perishes.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is really to do the inner work, the emotional inner healing that is really required. And the third aspect is really to have a coach, have a mentor. Because any professional athlete has someone to work with them when they want to reach specific results. So that is important. And when you are good and you can reach a certain objective on your own or goal on your own, then that's amazing. But I would say when you transition, when you want to up level, when you do something new, you need a coach and a few good friends to help and support.
Exactly. Now, do you find because a lot of times you do have to clear a lot of inner blocks out before the client can progress, do you find that a lot of them are, I guess I should ask, how do you ensure that the clients actually do the work? Because if they don't do the work and they're just taking in the knowledge, then it's not going to help them. Like, how do you?
It's not going to help them. Knowledge alone is absolutely not helping with inner growth.
Mm-hmm.
So the work that I do with the clients, we do it together. There is some teaching, there is some knowledge, and there is actually a way where I get to the blocks quickly. And then there's a release that happens, there's a mind shift, and something is really transformed.
Okay.
So
And so you do that each individual. See, that's what I'm wanting to do, but I'm wanting to do like the explaining part, like as a group, but then like they do it. We have individual things too. But I guess like if they, some people might not understand it, but somebody might ask a question that make them understand it or something. So I wanted to do like a workshop part as far as explaining it, but you just do yours like each individual.
It's individual, and naturally you will offer a workshop, but you will also require the work that you're going to do as a coach requires you to do your inner work so you can also help your ideal clients, because the people that you help, if you just a lot of people that get confused with niche and who am I helping, well, you just get into the certification that you've studied for, and also you put your hand in the back of you, and whatever you've overcome, you can help a person. But you need to walk the talk and be congruent in order to help the people. And essentially, it's the energy that you're going to vibrate that will attract your ideal clients.
Okay. Yeah, because I know when I first started, I've been doing personal development probably like 10 years, like just trying to work on me. And it's kind of like I was listening to like the CDs, Tony Robbins and all that. Right. And when they stop and actually write it down, I'd never do it. And then when I started going to trainings and it was kind of like I wanted to teach it, I got to thinking, you know what, whenever I see a coach and they tell me to do the work and I don't do it, then how am I going to tell my clients to do the work and expect them to do it? And then when I started doing it, it's like, oh, that's why people find it hard, because it starts bringing things out of you. But, like you said, once you get all that up to the front and deal with it and do it on a daily basis, it's a lot easier. But yeah.
Yes, you do. It takes courage to roll up those sleeves and do the inner work. And you do have to do it and be aligned like your head with your heart, because if you only stay at your head, it will not work out. You have to be in alignment and really own your authentic power and take action and make what you want happen.
And see, that's like totally different with what I was raised. I was raised like in a religion that taught, don't follow your heart, but it's kind of like your heart's what's telling you what it is that you enjoy. And so you just got to know how to read it right. So.
Yes, you do. And there's the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, yes.
And that is about listening to your burning desires. And you need to listen to your heart, because your heartfelt desires is what guides you to more happiness and more appreciation of your life, and that's what makes you want to grow into more. So you need to listen to your heart. Absolutely.
Exactly. And love yourself. So, okay. How long did it start your business to, how long did it take your business to start making money? Like,
The first year I did not make money. I had a loss. The second year I started to make money.
okay.
So it's a build up. It really is.
So the first year, were you working a second job or you had income already saved up to support you to get going? Or?
I had money already saved up to help me and support me to get going.
Okay, cool. Cool. So you were planning for this, isn't it?
I was planning for this. Yes, I made the decision to do it and I planned for it.
Okay. So what advice do you have for someone wanting to start a business?
For someone wanting to start a business, I would say be very clear on what it is that you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to your inner guidance, that push inside that pushes you to take action. Take
Mm-hmm.
the action. Reach out to someone who is where you want to be, and you will have success.
Okay. So did you have a mentor along the way, or like a certain coach that was you favored them above the others, or it's just like a
To start off with, I got myself a business coach to really have the foundation of the business, to really understand the process, the structure, how it works, because you need to have like certain aspects in place. I'm just looking here at my business plan and getting started. You need to have marketing systems in place. You need to have money breakthrough systems in place to help you in order to accept the money that you want to have in your business. You need to have business systems in place, and you also need to be a powerful coach in order to coach another person to take the next best step.
okay.
Yeah. But to get a foundation is really important.
And I think that's pretty much like the class that I'm doing this for, that we're doing this for. It's kind of like teaching us the basics of business because I think there's like 15 of us in there, and we're all different businesses that we're starting. And
Oh, that's amazing. And you know what? When you do take the coaching certification, they don't show you thereafter how to have a business and how to reach out to the soulful clients. So this is why I was inspired to create a mastermind group pilot. And here you are telling me that. Isn't it amazing? I believe in alignment.
Well, see, the school I went to, it was like a 1-day course in Atlanta, and they it was all in there, but we did more like practice. It was like a 7-hour thing, but we didn't like actually sit down and write out a business plan and that kind of stuff. But there was like ideas in there, and they'll do like once every week on a Wednesday, actually it's tonight, where they'll give us different ideas about how to get clients, and we can ask questions. So kind of like a follow-up thing.
Right. That's good.
And then what do you know now that you wish you had known when you started? And so, like,
Oh, good God, to really spend money according to my values and have my money values in alignment with my life values, because I've spent a lot of money to get the foundation and to get the business going, and not having had like a specific school where we learn everything about being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of money that can be spent, but it's really important to grow into it and accept that having debt in business is considered investment. It really is. And I would say be mindful of the investment. Focus on the success that you want to have and reach out to the person who is there where you want to be.
Okay. And do you have like a role model that you're tailoring your coaching after? Like, do you have like a favorite coach or somebody that you're inspiring to be like? I mean, other than yourself, you know?
Other than myself, actually, I want to be myself, but there's different coaches and mentors that I really enjoy their style. For example, if I look at Tony Robbins, the way that he helps out, it's big events. And I like the workshops. I like the one-on-one, and I like speaking out to a crowd of people. Absolutely, I enjoy that. But I also follow the natural tempo of my business
Okay.
to be respectful to the growth of the business.
Uh-huh. That's what I like too, and that's one of the things I want to teach is your own uniqueness.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what you need to follow.
okay, and the eighth question, it was, could I spend a day with you seeing what you do? But since we can't do that, we kind of went over that a little bit about what you do on a Wednesday. But like, when you think about back all through the time that you've had your business, what's been the most difficult day that you can remember?
The most difficult day that I could remember could be sitting in front of my accountant and telling myself, good God, how am I going to really lift this up?
And trying to get it all figured out.
Getting it all figured out, and at the same time, just understanding that I needed to have patience in order to allow it to grow, to grow, to grow. Because when you create a business, let's say, for example, you plant a seed in the ground and the little flower will start to grow. Well, you cannot pull on the flower for the flower to grow. You got to give it what it needs: fertile soil, water, sun, for it to grow. And with business, it's like that. So imagine if when you have a child and you want the child to grow, are you going to pull on its hair to grow? It's
Yeah,
patience.
patience. It reminds me of that. What is it? The Chinese bamboo tree. You plant it, and then it like takes 5 years before it actually breaks ground. But it's like all the work that was going underneath that nobody saw. But then, in like after it breaks ground, I think it's like 6 weeks before it becomes a big giant tree.
My God, I really love that. I love that. Yes, absolutely. So it's to keep doing the work and the business pops. It does.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the thing. They had to keep watering it every day, even though they didn't see results for like 5 years.
That's so true, Cicely. And you know what? According to the Entrepreneurship Foundation,
Uh-huh.
there's close to 60% of the businesses that don't even make it past the 1 year mark or even the 5 year mark because they keep thinking to themselves, I'll figure it out. I know how it is. And they're not used to getting the help that they need, or they don't want to spend the money to get the help that they need. But you know what? You've got to get all of your resources working for you, your energy, your money, your focus, and your time. That is really important.
Like self-investment.
Self-investment, exactly.
Okay, this has been really interesting. I just think it's interesting to see that. Cause I guess in my mind, because I had a mobile dog groomer and I did it for like 12 years. And I really, learned what I'm learning in the class right now. I don't really see how I lasted for 12 years, but I was just using that as like a part-time thing. But, with coaching, it's seeing that, it does take time to build up your clientele. But I still like the thought of coaching because, you can coach with people anywhere. There's an internet access and all over the world and meet new people. And you don't have to worry about a brick and mortar building and stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what type of coaching will you do, if I might ask the question?
Well, right now I'm looking for people who are um, wanting to like a little bit more happiness in their life. They don't have to necessarily be like unhappy, but they just want something different. And they're people that not aren't traditional. They're kind of like outside the box. They're unique because they don't do things the same way everybody else does. And so, they're not like traditional religions or politics. They just want to live their lives doing what makes them happy and creative. And that's why, because I kept going back to when I was grooming and like how to do something with the grooming. So as far as niching it down more, that's what I was thinking about yesterday, because I'm having to get like another income to coming in to help me with this one. And I can't do grooming anymore because of my health, but I can still work with animals. And I got to thinking, because I was doing pets, I was pet sitting, and I got to thinking, well, wait a second. I've been doing groomer, and I know how stressful it was. 'Cause I didn't know about coaching and stuff when I was a groomer. And I was like, I bet all these mobile groomers would like something like that because they got a lot of stress, especially mobiles, because usually they're the only ones in the business. They don't have like a bather or a receptionist, but it's just them, so they can feel that it's all alone, that they're all by themselves. And so,
So Cicely, these are the people that you could help out and coach.
mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Amazing.
It took me, it was taking me so long because it's kind of like with the coaching style that I have, it's like anybody, you can help anybody with coaching, but you got to like niche it down because you can't, if you try to help everybody, what they say, you help nobody.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, I think I've been doing grooming for 1998. I left the grooming school. And so I've been doing it for that long. Well, I stopped in 2012 because of my health, but as far as working with animals, I've been doing that all my life. So.
So that's you're talented to work with animals. So Cicely, the other question that I do have with regards to setting a fee to the services that you're going to offer, to the value that you will offer, is this something that you're learning in school as well?
Yeah, and actually, like with this, I set the fee based on what they recommended in the book because they recommended like for $50 for like a session, which is like 50 minutes, and then $35 for a session that's a half a session, which is like 25 minutes. But I was okay with that for now because it's like a little bit more than what I was making like without coaching. So that's one thing she said, like take your income that you currently make and then like double it, triple it, or however you want to do. And then
there's a way of doing that. There's a way of doing that, like with regards to the money breakthrough coaching that I do. There is definitely a way to charge for the value instead of working per hour. So that's a different way of working.
Right. Yeah, because with my the pet sitting, I'm doing it through rover.com, and I noticed that I'm the highest one for my area. But I've got to factor in, it's not just the time that I'm there walking their animals or sitting their animals. I got to get there. I got to go from my time that I take to get there, my gas I got to take to get there. And so I'm wondering, how are all these other people making a profit? Maybe they got more than one person, but, as far as you got to factor in all that. That's what we're doing now, the money part, like what all it takes and the variables and the fixed cost. And we actually had 2 sessions on that one. So.
That's good.
So it's kind of like you gotta know your numbers.
Yeah, and you gotta get comfortable with your numbers.
And that's one thing they taught in mobile pet grooming. Well, as a mobile pet groomer, I learned this. Everybody's not your customer, and so if you say I need this to break even and make a profit, and somebody can't afford it, then hey, I can't afford you because if I'm not making a profit, I'm paying to help you help yourself.
Exactly. That's a good mindset to have for coaching.
And I'll tell you one more thing. The reason I'm taking this entrepreneur class, because I want more of a business structure, but I think if I could start it all over again, my schooling and everything, I would have had my background in entrepreneurship, because with entrepreneurship, if one thing doesn't go the way you want it to, you can start another business because the foundation's all the same.
The foundation is all the same, but here's the thing, Cicely, you need to really listen to your authentic self-value, your self-worth, which is your gift, your talents, your abilities, and your strength. You got to be in that because that's the passion that gives you the creativity that you want to have for your business.
And see, that's one thing. Like, I feel I have creativity, but motivation, like, sometimes I feel that I don't motivate myself enough, and it's sometimes hard for me to motivate other people if I can't motivate myself. Like, I did a workshop where they had startup week, and it's kind of like, that was my first time ever doing anything like as a group in public with my business. And like, it was a free event, but like 7 people showed up, and it's kind of like, we were doing the process on the board, the 4W8 process, and they all left with like their goals and things to achieve them. But I sent them all an email, but I hadn't got a response back. But I got this program now that shows like why people, it's an inner thing whenever they don't, if they really say they want something, but they're not doing the things.
Exactly, it is. And you know what? I'm glad that we've connected, and I'd love to talk to you more and like outside of this interview about the pilot group that I'm setting up together, because there's no coincidence that we're being right here right now, and it could be profitable to more people. So I'd love to have another connection with you and help you out that way
Okay.
as well.
I'll put you on my a friend. I'll send you a friend request.
Yeah, okay.
And thank you again, Yvonne. This has been very encouraging.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm just going to stop the recording.